Hello everyone and welcome to today's Stocks and Crypto YouTube Charts video. I am No FOMO Charts. Today is Saturday, February 14, 2026. It's about 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome everyone. This is a swing trading and investing YouTube Charts channel. Let's start with the upcoming stock earnings releases. Earnings season is mostly over. There are a few companies, though, that we're still waiting for. We have companies like Palo Alto Networks, Carvana, DoorDash, Avis. The big one this week is Walmart, Alibaba, Open Door Technologies, Warner Brothers Discovery, Western Union. Walmart will be the big one. Economic data, we have quite a bit actually. Manufacturing index, durable goods, core durable goods, FOMC meeting minutes, unemployment claims, important, pending home sales as well, advanced GDP, very important, core PCE price index, very important. Those can move markets. Manufacturing and services PMI, new home sales, consumer sentiment, and inflation expectations. Recent news from this past week, President Trump said he's planning to reduce tariffs on steel and aluminum goods, on those imports. The Crypto Clarity Act apparently is still being negotiated between the USA government, big banks, and crypto industry players. January CPI inflation data increased 2.4%. That was actually lower than analyst expectation. That's actually why, in addition to Coinbase positive earnings, that crypto actually bounced. We will get to Bitcoin in the second half of this video. Let's start off with stocks. S&P 500 is still consolidating on the daily. We're getting rejected by a resistance temporarily, which is below $700 SPY ETF. And our support on the downside is about 678, range bound for now between the two blue lines. On a weekly chart, there's no extreme sign like we had before the 1 year ago, before tariffs, that double top. We're not getting that, but a weekly, we are still losing momentum for now. Daily is neutral on the oscillators. Still consolidating on the 4 hour. It's probably going to be a 4 hour, 1 hour setup, meaning day traders. So on the 4 hour, we're consolidating the price. The 1 hour trend is also consolidating. But once we start getting to 15-minute, 5-minute, we're actually downtrending in the short term for traders. So until that actually up crosses on these EMAs in the price, meaning we need to go up, so it up crosses on shorter term time frames, this is probably has yet to go up. NASDAQ QQQ ETF, similar consolidation, rejected below resistance 637, support range is 597, going sideways because of these AI tech names are just too expensive right now. Weekly chart, small problem I would say for now, that resistance zone turned into a monthly double top. If this is the start of a big pullback, NASDAQ ETF could pull back all the way down to about 546. Could take a couple months for that to happen. But if we don't go higher, that's bad. The only good thing I would say on the daily chart and the weekly chart is that stochastic RSI is getting low. So if the price at least holds above 597, definitely we can't really lose 587 to maintain some kind of uptrend. 4 hour is death crossed. Actually, 1 hour death crossed. The only thing we can hope for is that we stay above 588 to make a higher low in the price. So I'm being cautious right now with stocks and tech stocks, AI names. I'm being cautious because a lot of the speculative names have crashed already in the past 6 months, including Bitcoin. So a lot, in my experience, a lot of investors, they don't really panic sell until really like the last minute when it starts crashing a lot. So that's why I'm really watching this support zone area, which is around 585. Dow Jones, we had that breakout into the rejection. It's not game over for Dow Jones ETF because we're holding above the 494 support zone hammer candle right on that 20 EMA. Weekly chart is not extreme. Monthly chart, however, is worrisome a little bit because starting to get this shooting star action. We're only in the middle of February right now, but it was poking out that Bollinger Band. So the higher we keep trying to push on Dow Jones, it's actually pushing that upper linear regression on a weekly and a monthly chart, which is bad. It's not extreme on the oscillators, but it's getting high in the price. Bottom to top, Dow Jones went 35% already, the ETF. If I pull a pivot point, it's still above the pivot. So we're okay if we stay above 488. We just don't want to scare the market too much. Because if we do, with any bad information and sentiment, we pull back, we need to stay above 481, definitely. Russell 2000 double top below 269, support above 256, and you can actually see the actual M double top with the small cap. ETF monthly in that shooting star, weekly consolidation, starting to lose a little bit of momentum. For me, what I've learned on daily charts is that unless the stochastic RSI is below 20, there's still room to move intraday for really big assets. So if we start zooming in, 4 hours still consolidating, 1 hour, see it's kind of high, pulling back from there. That's why we pull back. 15-minute, barely holding that uptrend above the EMA. 5-minute as well. So I don't really like to enter unless like a 1 hour or 4 hours oversold on a stochastic RSI, because just from my style of trading is I like to buy low. I'm basically not a breakout trader most of the time. I like pullbacks, I like value, but sometimes those can be very dangerous. Meaning we don't want to catch a falling knife scenario. But when it starts uptrending, when the stochastic RSI is low, it could actually be a dip spot. So it's like my dip tool. Usually it works in an uptrend. But when it's downtrending, the stochastic RSI does not really work because downtrending, first off, if I'm a long trader, which I am, I don't want to buy downtrends because the trend is going the opposite direction that I want it to, or I need it to go. So if it starts downtrending, stochastic low is more like scalping for me. I have to remember that. And when it gets down here, it could keep crashing significantly. Gold ETF. Only thing I like about gold is that stochastic RSI is about 25. I want to watch out on gold because I understand that people are buying gold that flights its safety. It's less risky to buy gold right now. But on this chart, if this is a lower high and we actually don't break above 469 on GLD ETF, within, I would say, 2 to 4 weeks, there is a problem because if this is a lower high and we fade down, it could actually lower low to 425. If I Fibonacci from beginning of 2025 to that euphoria high, I would say end of January, we're still stuck. It's not really uptrending hard. It is making barely higher highs and higher lows. We just bounced off that pivot 20 EMA at 451, but something looks weak here. Or maybe people just stopped. Let's move on to silver. And by stopped, I mean when things are unsure, sometimes people just stop trading, stop buying, or if people had too many losses, day trading or swing trading or doing something, investing, the 401ks are down. I noticed that people just stop, take a break, they walk away from the market for a while. SLV, still in this uptrend. The only thing I'm interested here is that maybe we might get a double bottom on silver ETF, maybe. Perhaps. And I say maybe because it's not the biggest setup for me. I need to see like large MACD. But what we can say for sure is we bounce off the support around $66. If we have a nice double bottom, or if we just range bound we could go up to 76. Watching this, there's maybe 10% and about a 10% stop loss. So I'd have to target actually above that range, or unless I'm taking a 1-to-1 trade, but 15% would be $79. I'd like to target a little bit bigger than that. Weekly chart, shooting star going sideways. 4-hour chart, however, it's not quite a squeeze, but there is momentum building on the 4-hour chart. So once we start getting some momentum intraday, like a 5-minute 15, hasn't happened yet, market's closed right now. But if we start just getting a little bit more higher high, higher low, then that's going to trigger the buying. US oil, all I'm going to say is we have a golden cross on USO. Golden cross. And if we can, it looks bad on a daily chart, but if I zoom out to a weekly chart and zoom way out, we're actually kind of above the EMA on a weekly. It's not a capitulation down crash. We actually survived here. It's in this very large symmetrical triangle. So the top of that range is about 83. If we ever break out above $83, $84, it's going to be big news for oil. Otherwise, if something happens fundamental news-wise, we could definitely pull back to 73, and then I kind of want to try that one more time. Sometimes it fails, though. The previous golden cross actually failed. But I'm anticipating some kind of pullback, just statistically. Natural gas. The only thing I like and don't like about natural gas. What I don't like is extreme volatility. Whenever it gets high up here, somebody just massive short sells UNG. It happens a lot, where we have this massive gap up and somebody just smashes that thing down. It's like the second time in the past 6 months that I noticed that. We had this big pop up because we actually had a big bull divergence. Now pulling back. On a day chart, maybe this could turn into an upside down head and shoulders. It's not quite clear yet because we have these weird tops around 1675. But for my mind, if I just stay above $12, maybe we're actually in good shape here. The stochastic RSI is low, sneaky, suspicious down there. We're still death cross, but I'm seeing double momentum. So maybe we might get a leg up here as a swing trade on natural gas. I'll do one more. I'll just do XLK, which is the tech ETF. Let's actually draw some trend lines here. Range bound, wedge going sideways. That support on XLK, 135. We could make that higher low. Definitely possible because even Bitcoin is doing that right now. We went up, pull back, and if we stay above 135, maybe we could get another chance at 148. But definitely stop losses are probably in that 134 range. Weekly chart, we can see that open hole down here. That's what I'm kind of concerned about. 4-hour death cross, 1-hour death cross, 15-minute death cross. Somebody, day trader or news, we need to get some kind of break in either direction. Thank you for watching. Going a little slower today to explain things more on multi-time frame charts. Let's go to crypto. Crypto has been crashing for over 6 months, but I'll tell you what I like about these charts. We're on total crypto market cap right now, just like we saw with XOK, because the January CPI stock inflation data was actually better than expected. Coinbase earnings were good. Maybe the Clarity Act might be negotiated. That's 3 positive catalysts for crypto. And so, yes, we had that fear capitulation crash down to 2.12 trillion. That did poke us out of that lower Bollinger Band. We're still on the bottom quarter side of the bottom half of the linear regression, although it's downtrending. We do have a death cross, but I think we're having a bounce trade right now. In the past 2 days, crypto's bounced like 5-10%. And something that's to note is this is the first time we had low RSI since December. The last time we got to 20 RSIs was somewhere way back here. 2020. So the magnitude of that was severe. All I'm waiting for is I see this MACD histogram momentum building bull. Stochastic RSI is actually high right now. But if we can stay above 2.13, as long as we don't crash, there's actually a chance for a rally. Let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, very similar. Let's turn off all the indicators first. I'll start us off on a weekly chart. Let's draw some trend lines. I'm on a logarithmic chart. I like to use logarithmic. Makes it easier to see. Draw my trend line. Here's one trend line on the bottom side support. And then we almost basically touch that. If we turn on EMAs, we did pierce through the 200 EMAs. So this is what I want to point out is there was hidden support above 60,000 Bitcoin. Also, when we topped $125,000, $126,000 Bitcoin at this top, that was basically over 50% off Bitcoin, 52% off. From the highest high, a close to price right now, we're 44% discount on Bitcoin. Now, can Bitcoin crash further? Yes, it could. It could crash. Historically, it's crashed more than 30% when it hit this red line, 200 EMA. What I like is we have a hammer from last week and we have a little baby hammer for this week. So I'm assuming institutions are buying here. I like that the weekly RSI is still under 30. That has not happened since 2022. Wonderful. But the setup back in 2022 was this. The first time we hit that low area, like I was saying last week, is I still think we could bounce and then crash again because there's so much uncertainty right now. We get a fake crash. Unless I see large double MACD bull momentum and then an RSI bullish divergence, that's probably going to be the bottom. Right now, I think it's a tradable bounce bottom off this weekly. I longed crypto this week, but I'm not seeing that huge, large double MACD momentum. Not there yet. So that's just what I am anticipating from my own personal trade, not financial advice. But that's how 3 years ago I caught the bottom of crypto, and we had nice gains in this YouTube channel because of that exact setup. So if that ever happens again, that's one of the big bull setups, the double MACD weekly bull divergence turnaround. So where are my targets? Where are my targets on Bitcoin? BTC USD, we could target 74,000. We could get 77,000. 80,000 would be beautiful. Right now, the ATR is about 3740 from where we stand right now. 3740 would be about rounding up 6%, 6 to 12% stop loss needed for me as a swing trader. I could target 24% or 20%. So I'm targeting 84. I'm targeting 86. It could be too big. If we use this last higher low, which is about $65,000 Bitcoin, I could use a smaller stop loss, 5% stop loss, and then try to target 10%, which would be about 76. This is the exact Bitcoin trade I'm doing right now. One of the exact ones. Honestly, though, what probably is going to happen, unless there's a major bullish catalyst, is that it's going to be range bound. That's what I think. It's going to be symmetrical triangle until we have the real breakout. There's going to be a bunch of fake breakouts until we finally have the real one. The question is, it's a matter of time. It's not, is it going to happen? It's just, when is it going to happen? Because we're still downtrending. So for me to all in or on leverage or something, it's actually, this is not a great spot in my opinion, because it's not my mega bull signal. And we're still death crossed here. If somebody told me way back here in 23, if we're golden crossed on Bitcoin and it's still pretty low, to me, that might be an all-in moment for myself. But in downtrend without double MACD, maybe if someone's playing RSI, but there's only 10 or 20% gains on that strategy. So overall, I'm still bullish. Let's move on. I'll rapid fire to end this video. A lot of these cryptos had the same setup. So Ethereum, it was low stochastic. I like this low RSI. 4-hour chart, that higher low with some double bottom support action above 1900. This is what needs to happen for almost every altcoin, including Bitcoin itself. Higher high, higher low. Okay, fine. Higher high, we need to make a higher low. We could pull back a little bit to 1986, 1988, somewhere there like this. Flagging, but we just need to not crash below 1898 or 1790. So that symmetrical triangle setup is happening almost everywhere. Ripple, I do like XRP. I do like his low RSI, starting to make that momentum. I'm anticipating possible trend change here on XRP, higher high, higher low, HL above 140, and then can we blast up because are we going to get short squeezed? Everyone's still in this bearish mentality, but the charts are already ahead of most people's sentiment. Solana USD, I like this chart 2 days ago because double bottom. That's what I love. When I see double bottom on a daily, I buy. I bought altcoins. I don't always have to buy Solana, but I like this. $78 Solana. Right now it's 88. Remember, the high of Solana used to be the highest close, 250. 64% off Solana, although I think Solana popularity is fading. Weekly chart just barely tapped that RSI. But what I like about this weekly as well is the lower linear regression support zone. We're actually there right now. Hopefully we don't crash down to $10 Solana. I would definitely buy there. But this is what I'm saying. Sometimes we get the bounce trade opportunity and I'm already in there. Let's keep going. Zcash. I missed this bounce, but that's okay. I bought other cryptos. Zcash, nice. Long rally, short squeeze right there. Beautiful. And again, why did that happen? Once we get that double MACD, low stochastic MACD, low RSI, double MACD, that's actually one of my buy signals too. I just bought other cryptos though. Dash, what I like about Dash, it hasn't exploded to the upside yet. But I like this kind of double bottom action right here. It is pretty high, so no FOMO when it comes to this. Already have 20% off the lows. But can it extend? Can it continue and actually trend change here back up to $50? That's what I'm looking for. It just might take 45 days. Zen was very similar setup. Once I see that large MACD and the stochastic starts going up and we don't crash anymore, maybe that's a buy signal. Dogecoin, higher low. That one got short squeezed out of there. Higher low, break out the trend change. Trend line, trend change. Very, very subtle, but it happened very, very quiet, happened very quickly. 25% in 3 days. Cardano as well. Higher low. Now, here's something I want to watch out and warn people about. Even though this might trigger some FOMO on people because the coins bounced 20%, is that if we're going to do a real trend change, it could go up a little higher, and then I'm expecting a pullback, and then I might enter there for any of the remaining coins. I'm trying to ladder in my positions right now. I'm not going to say exactly which ones I'm doing, because somebody was trying to counter trade me out there. Could just be algorithms though, not humans. XLM 15% off 15 cents. If I take a peek here at weekly, I like the last week's hammer. Let me just rewind a little bit. There's a weekly chart, bullish momentum on a weekly. Cardano weekly actually looks pretty decent. In my eyes. XLM a little bit more risky though. Why did XLM back here in June 2025 have such a beautiful rally here? That double bottom, the W double bottom, so good. It's so powerful in crypto technical analysis that unless I see a double bottom, I'm actually not interested. This is a different strategy, however, in the circle right now. It's just that low purple RSI, low stochastic bounce. But remember, in a downtrend, the stochastic RSI will stay low for a long period of time. We'll just rapid fire here, the rest. One thing I will say, Pepe, it's too bad I didn't post about this, but Pepe, I'm in here. I bought Pepe off this, is a meme coin now. We're getting real into the altcoins now. Double bottom on that weekly. So if this is going to be the Pepe rally, for example, this is a perfect example of double bottom. It's this very volatile coin. It's more than 30% stop loss, but the target is still 50% to 90%. That's why I'm still interested here. Weekly potential morning star. Very dangerous though. It already popped 25, 30% overnight. And there's that daily double bottom as well. So sometimes it happens very fast. Very fast. And it's already in that super high RSI spot. So hopefully this doesn't trigger FOMO in some people, but it's already up 33% from where I bought it. If somebody's having FOMO, it doesn't have to be this crypto, it could be stocks or anything. It's okay to just pass sometimes and just paper trade, skip, do something else in life, because when we go double the target in the short term, we could get this pullback. It's just Pepe happened to be so oversold in that day yesterday. I just bought some, so I like this MACD is big, really obvious. There's actually upside down head and shoulders at one point here as well. So hopefully Pepe pulls back so we can buy more here. This crypto, you see that as I'm talking, it's just somebody's getting short squeezed out of this thing. But that's the gist of it. The summary is that crypto, after a crash, when we get that short squeeze bounce, some of those plays are really nice. But some other tech stocks like AI stocks or even quantum stocks, even some social media stocks, sometimes they're not doing well. So this is what I'm seeing on the charts, rotation possibly back into crypto. It could just be a short-term bounce, but this is what the traders like. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, if you learned something, go and click subscribe, hit the like button, leave a nice comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a nice weekend.